Are you trying to retrieve the unique player ID for OneSignal users in your iOS app? It can be a bit tricky, but don't worry, you're in the right place. Today, we will walk through the steps to get that player ID easily. I completely understand how frustrating it can be when you're following documentation and still can't find the specific information you need. You're definitely not alone in this. Many developers face similar challenges. Let's dive into the specific question at hand. One user asked how to retrieve the OneSignal user's unique player ID in iOS. They mentioned that they only found the iOS SDK setup in the official documentation. Sound familiar? If so, let's explore this together. So why is this important? The unique player ID is essential for targeting notifications and managing user engagement effectively. Without it, your app's communication capabilities can be limited. Let's break down how to find it. And stick around. I have a valuable tip at the end that will help you manage your OneSignal integration even better. To retrieve the OneSignal user's unique player ID in iOS, the user should first ensure that the OneSignal SDK is properly integrated into their Xcode project. Next, the user needs to set up the OneSignal initialization code. This is typically done in the app delegate's did finish launching with options method. After initializing OneSignal, the user should implement the method to retrieve the player ID. This can be done by using the OneSignal API to fetch the player ID after the user is registered. Finally, the user can test the implementation by running the app on a device. They should check the console for the printed player ID to confirm that it has been retrieved successfully. Fun fact, did you know that OneSignal is one of the most popular push notification services out there? It's used by thousands of apps to keep users engaged. Now, let's look at the answers provided by other users. One user suggests retrieving the OneSignal user's unique player ID in iOS by accessing the permission and subscription state. First, you get the permission subscription state using onesignal.getPermissionSubscriptionState. Then, check if the user has been prompted for notifications and their subscription status. Finally, you can access the user ID from the subscription status. Now, let's dive into a different answer from another user. An alternative approach for retrieving the OneSignal user's unique player ID in iOS involves using WebView Gold apps. You need to save the parameter OneSignal push ID in your database and call the OneSignal API when sending push notifications. This requires some back-end work. To append the user ID to your WebView URL, activate the kpush enhance URL option in config Swift. This will modify your URL to include the unique player ID. Remember, only the first URL request will have this parameter, so save it in a session or cookie. Additionally, you can retrieve the player ID using JavaScript. Use a script to redirect to a custom URL scheme and alert the player ID. That's it for that response. Let's explore another one. An alternative approach to retrieve the OneSignal user's unique player ID in iOS is to check the standard user defaults. You can access it using the key GTPlayerID. This ID is typically set during the first app launch, but it may not be available immediately when the application finishes launching. Additionally, you can view all stored values in user defaults by using the dictionary representation method. Here's that valuable tip I promised. Regularly check for updates in the OneSignal SDK. Keeping your SDK up to date ensures you have the latest features and fixes. And there you have it. You should now be able to retrieve the unique player ID for OneSignal users in your iOS app. If you found this video helpful, please hit the subscribe button for more tips, and don't forget to check out our other videos for more insights.